welcome along to this week's edition of the Irish Golfer Podcast. Peter Finnan here, joined as always by Ronan McNamara, who's changed his on-screen name. That just threw me. Good man, Ronan. Your mum. What's the crack? And Mark McGowan. How are you, Mark?
Good. This is a novel situation here. All three of us doing remote working.
Yeah, exactly. No. It could catch on. Now. It's good. But no, lots to get through. We're a little bit late coming out this week because there was so much going on Monday. I know, Ronan, you were ready on Monday. You're giving it all that. But yeah, we had so much going on with new LIV signings and a lot of stuff happening. So we said we'd leave it a few days, let things flesh out a little bit and wait till we had the press conferences over at Pebble Beach and all the LIV announcements, just to really get stuck into what's been going on. So yeah, plenty to chew the fat on this week. Before we get stuck in, this podcast is brought to you in association with Concept Golf. Visit conceptgolf.ie. They're based up in Blanchardstown, so for all of your custom fit, if you have indoor simulation needs, get in, play a bit of game when the weather's so bad outside, or if you just want some general lessons. So Mark O'Mahony's the man to chase up there. They have a membership model. You can check it all out on their website, so conceptgolf.ie. But right, where do we start with this, lads? We have to start with LIV Golf.
Yeah, a lot's happened the last couple of days. Obviously, golf's worst kept secret was Tyrrell Hatton was going to go to LIV and obviously join up with John Rahm's team. They're called the Legion XIII. So, God, that's just a horrific name. But anyway, and then Rory's obviously his 180. The man throws more 180s than Luke Littler does these days. Saying that the LIV lads should just be allowed back on the PGA Tour with no consequences. But like Rory saying that, I think if you read between the lines, it just shows that a deal between the PGA Tour and the PIF and the Deep World Tour is imminent. Probably could well be before the end of the week as well.
Yeah, there's lots of stuff to chew the fat on. I suppose you're hitting the big one was Tyrrell Hatton moving. Like, he's been talked about for a long time. It was strange how it was received online. Like, it's mad being so American centric. A lot of the coverage that we get, like, they're kind of 50-50. Half of them are like, won't make a difference. Like, he's top 20 in the world. It'll make a massive difference, I think, on things. But what do you think, Mark?
Well, I think, yeah, I mean, I'd say your average kind of European tour player around sort of or Hatton's ranking going, like, would barely even raise an eyebrow in the States. But Hatton's got that volatile on-course nature that's like, I mean, he's good to watch. He annoys me a lot of the time on course with his antics and everything, but I still enjoy it when the camera cuts to him and he is going mad and throwing clubs and swearing and sticking his fingers up at lakes and all that sort of crack. And a lot of the Yanks seem to really enjoy that. So yeah, I'd say Hatton going was a bigger story than somebody else of a similar stature may have been. But it's, I mean, again, it's, I guess, he's no surprise he's going. I mean, he's very close with Rahm. We kind of knew that, and anybody that didn't know that probably found it out around the Ryder Cup when they were kind of always paired together, and commentators would have been talking about how close they were and everything. So, I mean, once Rahm went, Hatton was kind of like the logical next domino to fall, really. So, no major surprise.
No major surprise, but like reading into the press conferences yesterday, I thought Justin Thomas was a little disingenuous with his, like, they haven't got their targets and it's not as big as they were making it out to be. Like, they have signed some huge names. They mightn't be huge in JT's, like, but like pretty much everyone they've signed, they're ahead of JT on the ranking. So I take what he said with a pinch of salt. Like, he's well down there, relying on sponsors' invites to get into this week's Makey Uppy event. But yeah, like, to get John Rahm, Tyrrell Hatton, Meronk, Lucas Herbert, even like a big one, Caleb Surratt is a big one for me as well. When they're going and they're targeting that sort of player at LIV and getting like the up and coming amateurs and stuff like that and putting them on contracts and putting them onto a good team as well. Yeah, it all adds up really well, and I think it has been a really good off season for LIV when you just take those 5 players we've named out, and then you look at like LIV Golf Promotions. Yeah, they didn't get the big names they wanted. They got Kieran Vincent, who's joining Legion X, but then Samuya, that won the qualifier, joins the Cliques. And then Kazuma is the third one that got in on that. So they didn't get the big names they wanted on that, but they got some good storylines on Journeymen Pro, who are being around the block looking to do it. And yeah, like, it's, you look at other players that they're linked with, like they've got Hudson Swafford coming in, Laurie Cantor coming in. There's still a bit of talk around Anthony Kim as well on both sides. Like, there's no space for him in this event, but wouldn't surprise me if they go pulling the trigger on something else big as well. I think it's been a very good off season for LIV, and looking into like the AT&T in Pebble Beach, it's normally not something I would get up for or go out of my way to watch. I'd watch it for the golf course a lot more, but I'm more interested to watch it this year because I think they've binned off Bill Murray. So I'm happy with that. He's gone. And it's only a 2-day Pro-Am field, so you'll get a lot more golf viewable at the weekend. But I'm very interested to watch. Be interested to hear with you guys. I'm very interested to watch LIV at Mayakoba this week, just to see. Like, it's a big field. Yeah, they have a lot more big names there. And it's actually got my attention this time.
Yeah, I wanted to see Anthony Kim announced somewhere in the middle of all this, but I agree with what you're saying, Pete. It's been a good sort of winter period for the lads over at LIV. Like, outside of Rahm, they didn't really sign any big targets, but if you're a European golf fan like we all are, it's been pretty bad for us, like losing Hatton, losing Meronk, as I'm sure we will in the next 24 hours when that's announced, losing Lucas Herbert. Like, they're all good Irish Open men. You know, all three of them were very good to play in the Irish Open over the last few years. Like, while they haven't gone and got their big players, they're certainly stripping away at the, I suppose, second and third tier players, which, you know, leaves a lot of your mandatory run-of-the-mill tournaments going to pretty much nothing, really. They're almost unwatchable when you lose these types of players. So, yeah, look, will I watch LIV this week? Probably not, but intrigued to see how Hatton gets on, because like Mark said, I'll miss him. I was a big Tyrrell Hatton fan, if not for the golf, just for the antics.
Yeah, and we've lost a lot of guys like that. But I suppose I don't think lost is a good word for like a Tyrrell, the way he's gone across.
They'll be back.
100%. Like, they will be playing the main, like, you know, we'd Joaquin Neiman playing a couple of weeks ago in Dubai and stuff like that. These lads all have eligibility and rankings on the DP World Tour. Whatever the PGA Tour want to do, I think these guys will still be mixing it in around all the main European Tour events. Like, there's no question, like, Tyrrell and John Rahm, like, when you hear the messaging, like you say, we'll get into Rory now in a minute as well on what he was saying, but when you hear the messaging coming out from those players, there's no doubt in my mind that they have gotten assurances from the like of Luke Donald that, listen, yeah, you won't be getting ranking points in the foreseeable future, but if your stats add up like they did for Brooks Koepka last year for trying to make the US Ryder Cup team, if your stats add up, you're going to get a pick, and that's it. So it's just, all it's doing is narrowing the field of the wildcard picks that Donald's going to have, because there's no question about it, like, Tyrrell Hatton and John Rahm are one of the first two names you stick down in the next Ryder Cup list. So they're going to the next Ryder Cup one way or the other. It's just how things pan out between now and then.
Yeah, Rahm going opened the door for everybody else. Once, like, there's no way he's not going to be part of that Ryder Cup team. And then if Hatton is good enough to make it, there's no way you can pick Rahm and then leave Hatton out of it. You know, so I mean, yeah, and
it's right.
I agree 100% with what you said.
It's right what they're doing.
Yeah,
like,
it is
like,
right. It is right.
You know, and but it'll, like, someone that won't be happy with the messaging that's coming out now, like the only one really of the others that I really care about, like Garcia, will be looking at this going, right, the messaging's all changed now on this. He is not going to be happy when he sees the like of Rory and all them coming out and saying, oh, he has to go, they have to go, like, on the same basis Garcia should have been considered for the last Ryder Cup. But I suppose timing is everything in this, and like it would not surprise me though, as an olive branch, if Garcia ends up being a vice captain in the next Ryder Cup, which opens the door then again for your Poulters and Westwoods and Stenson and all them to get involved at some stage in the Ryder Cup down the line. So like from everything you've heard from the DP World Tour, European Tour, from players up to this, is not like right up to the Ryder Cup, even Rory, like these lads can't be around the team room. It's we've moved on and that's it. Now the narrative has changed, and opinions have changed, and Rory is reflective of that and what he is saying as well. But Ryder Cup questions are going to be interesting from our side.
But they also left under different circumstances. I mean, Garcia left burning down the house behind him when he did. Rahm, when he left, said, talked about how much he loved the PGA Tour, how much he wanted to still play on the PGA Tour, about how tough the decision was to make, everything like that. He said all the right things. Garcia was like, I can't wait to get off this piece of shit tour. You're all fucked. Something like words to that effect when he left.
As he was kicking a bunker senseless. yeah, exactly.
So not exactly an apples to apples comparison, like.
But with Garcia's connections, like Rahm has made it quite clear, even throughout the Ryder Cup, he was talking to Garcia daily, looking for stuff. I do think there will be an olive branch leaned out. It would not surprise me if one of the LIV guys, I would say Garcia's front of the queue, will be involved in the next Ryder Cup on the management team, because you need someone that's there with the guys all the time as well. We've 2 of our 12 players are playing LIV full time. Who's to say there's not going to be another one that makes his way on and qualifies, does whatever. So yeah, it's going to be very interesting times over the next few months. But I do think the European Tour is a lot more open to change, and looking at how this is evolving and working out, they seem a lot more open to this than the PGA Tour. They just seem still to be burying their head in the sand as such, and just ploughing on more of the same.
Yeah, like it would be good to see the lads on LIV, come to play in Europe. I know some of them still can. Like that would just boost the DP World Tour as a brand, and as a watchable product. But as far as the Ryder Cup goes, I think there's no doubt that something has to change with the qualification criteria. Like Europe doesn't have as much of a depth pool as America. Like, can America afford to leave Brooks Koepka off the Ryder Cup team in 2025? Probably. Can Europe afford to leave Rahm and Hatton out? Definitely not.
Yeah. No, it says a lot as well. The ball frogs are dead now as well. Boston Common, that's the end of them lads. I think contractually, I don't think Lord Tyrrell can play for. I'm gonna call these the Thundercats now. Yeah, anyone that hasn't seen, so was it Legion 13 is the actual name?
Legion 13, yeah.
So anyone, I don't know, you're probably a bit young for this now, Ronan, but Mark will remember the Thundercats. And if you go look up the Thundercats logo, look up the logo, it's gas. If I had the video skills to go on, I was looking at the theme song last night, I'd love to be putting heads onto these lads and moving it around. John Rahm calling them all with the sword, and Tyrrell coming legging it and all that. It'd be funny, but yeah, it is very like it. So yeah, they're called the Thundercats now, that's it.
Good enough. Happy with that. Yeah, I still have a Lion-O figure up at my parents' house. Every time my nephew's up there, he always gets it out and plays. He's only got one leg left now, but he's still going strong.
No, but it's it'll be a strange one now with the TGL, just to see how they restructure that, because I think for the same reasons that John Rahm withdrew, wasn't able to do both teams, Tyrrell Hatton will be the same, and they're the guys as well, that's Fenway Sports Group backing that as well, so the Boston Common own that team, and they're the main investors, that Boston Investment Group, that are getting involved with the PGA Tour as well, and looking at that, and I found it very strange that at such a last minute, if these guys are meant to be all getting into bed together and doing a long-term deal for coexisting, working together and coming up with a template like that Tyrrell Hatton was so last minute getting signed, doesn't really speak volumes that these guys are on the best of terms. Like, they're still player poaching and looking at paying players to get in. So I do know there's something coming up this Friday, some sort of an announcement from Jay Monaghan. I don't think it's what we're all going to expect it to be. That it's more, we're still ironing things out, we're still working things through, and from what I'm hearing, 2024 and 2025 are going to be quite similar years, working towards a 2026 all coming together type thing. So, it's not going to be.
Jay would go well on the FAI, I think. 70 days to replace Stephen Kenny. Oh no, we're still identifying the candidate. That's Jay.
Yeah, it's gas, because I know someone flying to London yesterday morning actually, and Gus Poyet was behind them on the plane, flying back from Dublin. They must have had a load of lads in yesterday for interview, and like anyone that went to the airport just watches like people coming in and out, they would have spotted whoever was over. But yeah, be interesting.
Yeah, the word is the Klopp's throwing his hat into the ring.
Don't mention the war. Poor Ronan, he's still crying.
Still not over. I'm glad we got Monday's pod to be postponed. I could have a couple more days to mourn and reflect.
You can get Stephen Kenny now. It'll be grand for the Liverpool job. It'll be fine.
Get Stan
back in. But no, it'll be interesting from a business point of view. Just hitting back on that. I think the PGA Tour were kind of gung-ho about trying to get American investment in behind, and not to have PIF coming in and pretty much owning or investing a lot more than everybody else. And they still seem to be on different paths strategically, the both tours. So I think LIV are just flexing signing a player like this. It makes more sense that they've come in last minute and took Tyrrell, who was, there's no question about it, was one of the top names on their hit list as well to get in the off season. So once Rahm was secured, so yeah, it's going to be interesting times. But I just don't see. I don't see what, like, everyone's waiting for this big announcement on they're going to work together and they'll have a proper framework and this is how that'll work. This is how that'll work. This is going to take years. By the sounds of it, by the sound of stuff in the background, they already have their 2024, both of them seasons done. They're looking at 2025 already. PGA Tour have loads of their stuff tied up already. I'm assuming LIV do. If LIV can get out the gate and get a proper broadcast partner, like if Sky Sports or the Golf Channel or someone pick up on LIV now as part of these negotiations, which I'm sure they'll be leaning on, that's going to be game changing as well. And that kind of needs to happen in the next couple of months just to legitimise this even further. But like, they couldn't have a better product considering what Mickelson did a couple of years ago. If you were to fast forward to this, it would have been so interesting to see if Mickelson didn't open his mouth to Shipnook, what way it would have been now, like how far. But like, I think where they are now, they're very, very happy. They just need to get a TV deal.
Yeah, I mean, I wrote about this yesterday. It's amazing how quiet their PR machine is outside of outside of like just the rumors that are kind of largely spreading amongst other golf media outlets. I mean, I went on LIV's website yesterday, and like this was prior to the Rahm team being officially announced, and their press release on that was a little bit. I mean, we could go into that later on as well.
No, go on, get stuck in now, because it was absolute. Yeah, it was bullshit. Total bullshit.
It's just written that, like, they're trying to. Oh God, I don't even want to go there. It's just so terribly written. It's so cheesy, so like it's pathetic, really. And that's kind of what their entire PR campaign has been. I mean, 2 days out from their tournament starting, or their season starting, like, none of these names had been announced. Look, like, Adrian Meronk, we all know Adrian Meronk is gone there, has signed. Like, he has to be in. Like, the tournament starts
Friday.
What day's today? Wednesday. The tournament starts Friday, so like, he has to be in Mexico, like, preparing for the tournament at this stage.
He's in the betting as well. He's 22-1. So clearly the bookies know something that we don't.
But if you go onto the Cleeks, like on the Cleeks player page on their Cleeks team page on their website, you just have poor Martin Keimer and Blandy standing there, just the two of them. There's no, like, why are they not shouting this stuff from the rooftops?
Yeah. No,
Like,
the
why
PR
are
around
they
it's
not
chronic.
hyping up? Like, they're the PR, and they're not going up against. Like last year, they started their year and went up against like one of the shitty PGA Tour events. You know, one of the ones that had none of the big names at. I mean, they were targeting those sort of events to go up against. This year, they're going up against the big guns. This year, it's against Pebble Beach, a signature event when all the best players of the PGA Tour are going to be playing, and there's nothing coming from them on the promotional side of it. I mean, you're saying you want to tune in and watch LIV this week, but you work in golf media. You're like well tuned into what's going on. For any casual fan, do any of them know that LIV's happening this week?
Well, not even know that's happening. I don't even know where I'm going to watch it. I know I want to watch it, but like I don't know. Is it still streaming on YouTube? I seen they signed a deal with Movistar in Spain during the week. I've no idea. Do we have to download the app again this year? That's the missing piece of the jigsaw for them. But no, I agree with you. It's a PR shit show from LIV. Yeah. Like, it's mad that it's the first time they've reached a tipping point that the product is actually better than the marketing of the product now. And unless they come up with ways of getting their messaging better, yeah, people just won't be arsed. But I do think if they go about it the right way, they now have the field and the teams. They will get attention now. They will get not just public's attention, they will get sponsors' attention now at this stage that they're getting. So I think this will be a good year for LIV.
But that's another thing on the, like, I mean, to get, like, they're talking about how much interest are in, you know, people are looking to invest in our teams. People are going mad for merchandise for our teams. And Jon Rahm didn't even have a team officially until yesterday. Again, 2 days before the tournament starts. Like, if the merchandise, the t-shirts, the hats,
they're all done.
Whatever,
though.
Like
that Legion 13 thing that was set up months ago. Yeah.
But I mean, they'll all be done. But like, you're on the ground sales and stuff is only the tip of the iceberg compared to what your online market can be and everything. If things are done right, it's baffling for how much money they've spent that they haven't like squirreled a little bit of a way and say, let's just get a decent public relations team in, and if they did that, then they have the capabilities of completely blowing the PGA Tour and DP World Tour and everybody out of the water altogether. And sorry, okay, rant over.
No, it is a bit of a shit show, like, but it like they're set up well. I think it will be a good year, but yeah, we could, like, I don't know, where is there any other LIV angles you want to go at? Like, we'll judge it when we see it now over the weekend. But is there anything else that stuck out from any of the press releases or any of the stuff?
Well, I also
looks like they're children, like all the colors and everything. Like they're hard to navigate your way through them. I just think they're a tough read, and that's something else they need to look at as well. It's just very, I don't know, it's just tacky and bit gunky, and it's just, you know.
They're making it up as they go along. You can tell they're making it up as they're going along. Like, they're literally going from one day to the next. They have a vision, but they've no plan as to how to get there.
No. But in their third year, you'd think they would have sorted that out. Like, they're basics. Like, this isn't that hard.
Yeah, no, I described it yesterday. Like, it's like they're operating on transfer deadline day. As is the only difference is there's no Harry Redknapp talking through the car window, and there's nobody waving around a blue dildo in the background.
Peter Adam Wingy or whatever turning up at the gates of Mayakoba. Any chance of a start, lads? Right, we'll move on from the LIV stuff then. On PGA Tour, it's obviously signature event week, huge week. Before we look at that, we'll look, I suppose, back on the last week. It was pretty interesting tournament at Torrey Pines over the weekend. I watched bits and pieces of the highlights, missed it because I was over at the golf show in Florida, but yeah, it seemed like a crazy finish.
Before you go, Pete, a bit of breaking news: Meronk and Lucas Herbert have just been announced by LIV, just as we're talking about it.
Sure, we said that earlier on. It's gas.
Shock horror.
Shock
Shock
horror,
horror,
exactly.
right.
The PR machine is flying.
Meronk,
Um,
Meronk is going to the cliques, and Lucas Herbert's obviously joining the Aussies at Ripper GC.
yeah.
Is this
No,
pod going out live? They must have been
It should
listening
be.
in. Fucking hit.
Clip this. We had them.
Oh,
But
stop.
no, last week on the PGA Tour, I missed the final round, unfortunately. But I did watch a good bit of the first 3 days, simply because there was a good European presence in it, which I found, very entertaining and very interesting. It drew me to actually watch it because this is one of the PGA Tour events which over the years has been pretty big, but this year wasn't because of the signature event going to the AT&T this week. So this was lacking a lot of star quality, but you got Pavon up there who obviously won, Nikolai Hogard, your man Stephen Yeager, and Thomas Seytree for I don't know how for love nor money is he ever going to win something like. But I just thought it was a potential window into what the PGA Tour could look like with the signature events going forward. Like you got your non-signature events that have always been big events, but now won't have the depth of field going forward. And now we've got the influence of LIV as well. So fields are getting weaker as they go along in these things. So I think there is an opportunity for the Europeans who got their PGA Tour cards to maybe do what Pavon did and start getting a win or two, because the opportunity is there. Like you're only competing against maybe one or two of the top players in the world, and then other players who are just at your level as well are going to be playing. So I think there is a chance for, unfortunately, I would have said Meronk before he'd gone, but there is a chance for the likes of Hogard, Pavon again, Bobby McIntyre to maybe go and get a PGA Tour win.
Yeah, no, it was good to see it's good to see that they're actually getting so much. I didn't think the 10 cards that went over would get as much opportunity early. And like they've been up there, they've done really well. Like even the like a Nikolai, like another runner up finish on the PGA Tour, but like he was in Dubai the week before and flew straight from Dubai out to California and teed it up in this
For
event.
a Wednesday start as well.
Yeah, for a Wednesday start. That's like it is insane the globe trotting that he had to do to get there and still has it to finish second. We were on for a Highguard 1-2 on both sides of the Atlantic at one stage, like with Rasmus doing well in the DP World Tour as well. No, but I'm very impressed. Like it was some of the shots that were pulled off were just clutch down the stretch. Like Pavon had it in his hands, looked as though he'd thrown it away, and then pulled some absolute worldies out so close. And these are names that like the American golf public, I'm sure, are well peeved off when they see guys like Nikolai and Pavon and Thomas Detry and stuff like that coming across and actually doing damage, because the way they look at the European tours, we're giving these lads 10 cards, but they're never going to feature in anything. Like they're not good enough, they're not as good as our homegrown players, but like there's a real international flavour that these guys are all going over there, and rightfully so. They're some of our top 10 players that are otherwise don't have a PGA Tour card that are going across and getting a chance to dual fight it out both sides of the Atlantic. But they're going in there and they're mixing it, and they really are going to do damage across the season, some of them.
Yeah, it's funny. I don't think when the 10 cards were announced, you look through maybe 3 or 4 of the names, would anyone who watches the DP World Tour have missed Pavon going over to the PGA Tour? I don't think so, but now he's a PGA Tour winner and you're kind of like, oh yeah, looking at the event in Bahrain this week, kind of wish Pavon was playing, really, to be honest, and Ryo Hitsatsune and Bobby Mack and these guys. So fair play to him. The third shot into 18 was outrageous, like under that pressure. So good on him.
No, it was serious.
Did you see any of the controversy about his lie on that third shot to 18?
No, I didn't.
I saw a couple of videos doing the rounds of him treading very close to his ball. Apparently, now the ball was buried in the rough, so you can't actually see exactly where his ball is. But he's walking around, and then just kind of takes an exaggerated big step and seems to put quite heavy pressure on. Like he wasn't walking in a normal fashion. Let's say he just kind of took a step out of his line and seemed to put a lot of pressure on it and moved away again. And there's a lot of
the old Patrick Reed moonwalk around the ball.
A lot of suggestions that he was just sort of fluffing his lie a little bit or sticking patting down the grass behind it.
A French sports person accused of cheating? Nah, never.
No, it was a great win though, and like the Irish in the field as well. How did Seamus get on? All right, did he?
Seamus missed the
Oh,
cut for the
Seamus.
5th week in a row, Pete, at the Tory Pines. So fair play to you.
No, I didn't.
That's
I
that's up
like I
there.
said.
That's up there with Siwoo Kim now a couple of weeks ago.
No, I meant I didn't mean result. Like injury wise, he's back playing. Like he took the previous week off. Like I didn't follow any of it, so I'm as new to that result as you.
No,
Yeah, look, it was a miscut for Seamus, a bit of a forgettable week. But look, Pavon may have got the trophy, but Larry stole the show. Let's be real, the albatross.
Elbow.
Alba.
No, it was seriously good. But I did see Seamus Power that was introduced onto the PAC advisory board for. I don't actually know what they do. Like looking at the stuff, they kind of they advise and consult with the PGA Tour policy board and directors, headed by Jay Monaghan, on issues. So Larry stepped away from that, and he's stepping into that.
it's good to keep the Irish link going there, but yeah, I don't think it's going to be particularly big news in general. Yeah, he's gonna sit in the boardroom a couple of times a month probably. A lot of that player advisory council. It's the players are supposed to go to them if they've got issues, and they then take it to the board, that kind of thing, and then they relay issues to the players. It's kind of like I think it's a lot of it's kind of like an intermediary kind of thing. So don't be basically Stephen Yeager. Don't you be texting Jay Monaghan straight away. You go to Seamus Power, and Seamus Power will bring it to fucking Peter Malnati, and that sort of. I think
that's the
that's
thing.
a lot of what it is.
The guys on the advisory council: see Sam Burns, Lanto Griffin, Nick Hardy, Brian Harmon, Max Homa, Mackenzie Hughes, Keith Mitchell, Grayson Murray. Jesus, he'll be good crack. Seamus Power, Scotty Scheffler, Adam Shank, Kevin Streelman, Nick Taylor, Josh Teeter, Justin Thomas, and Camilo Villegas. So, and it said Streelman and Villegas have been selected by the player directors to run for the PAC chairman as well. Who's this kind of 2-year thing that they do. So Jordan Spieth stepped down from that as a player director on the policy board. They serve 3-year terms, actually, looking at the thing. So the players that are still in that are Pat Cantley, Peter Malnati, Adam Scott, Webb Simpson, and Tiger. So yeah, strange one, but yeah, no, fair play to Seamus getting stuck in. Yeah, but Larry was good. Like the albatross, he's done that a couple of albatross. He chipped in the week before as well on the last hole for eagle to miss the cut by a shot. But yeah, he's getting fond of sticking it in the bin from a fair bit out.
Yeah, he's getting a lot of grandstands up on their feet. So look, it was a shame. He obviously needed a top 5 finish last week to get into this week in the signature event. And after round 1, it looked like he was going to be in contention going into the weekend, and just never got going at all after that, which is, kind of how it's been going for him over the last 12 months, really. But hopefully, there is good golf in there, obviously, with the Eagle and the Albatross. So going forward now, he has a couple of events to play to get into the Genesis next month. So hopefully he can do that.
Play his way in, yeah, exactly. On the DP World Tour then, we'd Torbjorn claiming another win.
Yeah, this was pretty boring. I didn't watch a whole lot of this now, to be honest. But look, McKibben solid again, 16th place. Made all of his 5 cuts so far on the DP World Tour, up to the top 40 now on the race to Dubai, I think. Look, he's going really, really well. I thought he would contend to win actually last week, but just didn't quite get the putts over the 4 days. It was a shootout, really. But it was also good to see Harrington make it to the weekend as well. Obviously, he's been battling illness and all sorts of things. He kind of faded away over the weekend, but good to see him make a cut. He's not playing this week now, but yeah, it was positive. But it's concerning to see this week we've no Irish playing at all in Bahrain, which is one of the lower ranked DP World Tour events. This is worth speaking about, to be honest, and it should be concerning to everybody who wants to see Irish golf do well. There's no one inside the top 50 playing this week in Bahrain, and we can't even get a player in. Now, granted, McKibben's taking a well-earned rest, so like he's in the comfortable position where he doesn't have to play this week, but not have anybody, come in behind him to fill the void is pretty concerning, and it's not the first time it's happened this year either. This is the second time.
Yeah, I seen you put a piece up online alright, it got some traction, like, and you're right, like we can't be hanging our hopes off a 21-year-old to be going and playing every single week, and Tom is taking a well-earned break, but like I see there's 3 of the lads out in the Challenge Tour this week down in South Africa, but yeah, it is a concern when you've this, like, there's no making no qualms about it, like it's a tier B, tier C European Tour event, and we can't get anybody into the field, which is concerning when our top boys are across in the States.
We're like a Division 4 team who can't get a win in the Tailteann Cup either.
Less said about that stuff, the better. Not a good start to the National League.
No,
speak for yourself.
We moved.
And we're all Division 2 men. Yeah, we're all Division 2 men. I forgot that. Yeah, I forgot. Welcome down to Division 2, the man from Donegal.
A crushing victory over Cork and Ballybofey.
Yeah,
Fortress Ballybofey is back.
Jimmy's winning matches. But yeah, no, it is concerning. I don't know where, like, what do you blame for it? Like, a lot of people made some good points on that thread as well, like saying about is it a Golf Ireland problem? Is it a development problem? Is it a transition problem? Like, are these guys playing the right style of events as amateurs? Like, there's so many like rabbit holes you can go down exploring why it is that these guys are not kicking on, because the talent is there. Like, I think the talent is there. It's just it's not translating from amateur to professional. But like, it's a tough profession. It's so grueling now to try and make your way in professional golf that the margins are so fine. It's mad. Like, even over in Orlando last week, like, I bumped into Cormac Sharvin over there, like, and just got chatting to him briefly. Like, he hasn't played since October, and no outlook on what his schedule looks like this year, what he's going at, or anything like that. Like, it's sad to see guys like that, like, not still out there and being supported and put out there with starts and what have you to try and plough on, because I suppose the stats show as well, the longer you stick with guys like that and the longer you invest in guys, it doesn't happen overnight. Like, it's not a 1, 2, 3 year thing. Like, a lot of guys find that maturity, it takes them a while, and then they kick on. So it's a tough one to put your finger on as to why we've no one out there this week.
Yeah, you could be here all day chatting about this now in reality, but like, looking at the comments on social media over the column I wrote, people are going back as far as investing in schools golf. I think personally at amateur level we seem to be doing quite well. I mean, I think 16 Walker Cuppers, I think over the last 10, 11, 12 years or so is pretty good going. Like, we 4 on it last year. We just don't seem to be kicking on from amateur level to pro level. Like, something's maybe missing. It is, of course, a lot harder now to make the grade, given that the European Tour, as it was known, is now the DP World Tour, and it's a world tour now. It's such a global game. Like, we have players from Scandinavia punching above their weight. The UK is still strong. You have South Africa, Australians. You have players from Asia now. So it's not like I'm expecting us to have 10, 15 players on the DP World Tour like we would have had a decade ago. But to not even have one player playing this week that's a real cause for concern.
Yeah, and if there was a few good points made in that thread as well about, like, the style of golf we play as an amateur, be it the format, that it's like a lot of match play, a lot on links, anything can happen in that sense, and we should be playing a little bit more on the continent where it's more stroke play, parkland, and that's what 99% of the tour stops are. Like, professional golf is a parkland test. There's not really much links to be played out there. There's 2 events a year, that's it. So it's
like,
there was a lot of good points.
Links golf, it gets you to learn how to grind out a score, but I suppose playing parkland golf, you learn how to shoot your 64s and your 65s. But then on the flip side of that, like, we play so many links courses here because we have some of the best links courses in the world, and speaking to the Irish amateurs over the last couple of years, they've obviously a lot of friends from the UK who come over to play, and they look over at us in envy over the courses and the schedule that we have. So,
Yeah.
do you want to lose that from the amateur schedule? I don't think so, to be honest.
But then
Yeah,
you've
no.
got so many of them going through the US college system as well, where obviously there's no links golf over there. They're all playing parkland style courses, all playing against high quality opposition for 9 months of the year. And they're still not kind of making that step up to the next grade. And maybe we will have one or a couple start to come through in the next couple of years, and we're kind of looking back on this going, maybe it was just a kind of a little bit of an anomaly period. You have peaks and valleys. To channel Conor Moore when he's doing Justin Rose's impression. So hopefully this is just a valley. Hopefully things change over the next couple of years. But I don't quite buy there's too much links golf on the thing and everything. It's now as maybe a minor contributory factor, yeah, but as a a major thing which needs to change, then no, I wouldn't agree with that.
Yeah, I do. It definitely does, and I know you're working on stuff the last while, Ronan, as well. Like, the one common denominator across when you look at other countries and how they go about that transition, like, there's no question about it. Golf Ireland do an unbelievable job, and Neil Manship, what he has done and delivered over the last decade and a half has been phenomenal. Like, the success, but it 100% does need a link into the pro game from the amateur, and like whatever that is or how that comes about, like I don't know, I don't have the answers to that, but like we're pumping a lot of taxpayers' money into golf over the last decade, like tens of millions, and it just doesn't seem, it works on an amateur level, but it doesn't translate into new professional talent that is supported well enough to actually sustain something for 4, 5, 6 years until they actually find their feet. I don't know, we need to look at a more long-term model of, rather than the 2 or 3 years of the grant system as it is now. But there's so many players coming through. It's who do you pick, who do you support, who do you stick with, when's the cut-off point? Like, there's so many variables to it, and but it does need someone who's been there, done that, on tour, knows the pitfalls, to sort of join the dots and help these guys out on the journey that they're looking at,
Yeah, like there's lessons to be learned for the next few years, because you'd be afraid that this could translate now into the women's pro game. Like, we've Lauren Walsh, who's obviously making her first LET tour start next week, I think. But we've a lot of really, really good young amateurs coming through in the women's game, as we all know. So I think there's lessons to be learned to make sure that we don't lose, those players when they go and turn pro as well.
Yeah, no, there are some big problems to tackle, from both the elite amateur and into the professional ranks over the next couple of years. But no, it'll be interesting. But no, it was, like you said, good to see McKibben having a decent week and Harrington back into form on the DP World Tour anyway. So where do we go from here, lads?
The best tournament of the week was on the LPGA Tour, lads. Don't know about you, but this was gas crack. Like, obviously Leona Maguire and Steph Meadow made the cut, didn't really feature at all. Move on. So I was watching the back nine on Sunday, and Nelly Cordes trying to get her first win since November 2022. She had a 4-shot lead into the final round, and then she just went to absolute pieces. Bogey, double bogey, bogey. Lydia Ko nearly puts it in the water, gets an outrageous bounce, sets up a tapping eagle on 17 to go 3 ahead. So I turn it off. I'm like, right, this is done. Watch the Sunday game, watch them all lick Jim McGuinness's hole for about half an hour. And then I get a notification off Sky Sports saying Nelly Corda finishes eagle birdie to force a playoff. And I was like, oh my God, how was that possible? Because for the 2 hours that I watched, the quality was awful. It was just nerves, missed putts from absolutely everybody. And then, of course, when I turn it off, it explodes into life. And Lydia Ko needed to win to get into the Hall of Fame, and she 3-putted the second playoff hole. And Nelly got up and down from the back of the green. Like, the the quality of the golf wasn't great, but Jesus Christ, the entertainment and the tension was unbelievable.
Yeah, you tend to get that a lot with the LPGA. Like you get some serious finishes, like they're just nervy finishes. That's just a standard. But you would not expect that from Corda and Co. to have nervy finishes like that. But no, it was really really good to see. You're heading out to the home of golf as well soon, Ronan.
I am, yeah, off to see how Stevie G is getting on with the boys.
Off to Riyadh. I
See,
seen an invite
see,
come into
see,
the office there the other day. So he's
see,
off
can
to
I get a
Riyadh in
game?
a couple of weeks for the Aramco. So is that Lauren Walsh is in the field for that, isn't she?
She is, yeah. Herself and Leona are playing that week.
So that'll be good. That's second week in Feb, I think, is it?
Second week in Feb, bit of sunshine. Haven't seen it in about 7 months.
Off to Saudi Arabia for Valentine's Day. No better man.
No better place to be.
No better place to be. Be good. No public signs of affection now or anything like that. But no, that'll be an interesting week. It'll be interesting. I told you we'd get you to Riyadh. I thought it'd be LIV, but Aramco, next best thing.
Aramco's the next best thing, yeah. Hopefully there'll be a good field.
I know it should be good. Right, there was on the amateur side of things, the octagonal match as well. We got close.
We got close. Yeah, this was a good effort from a young team, to be fair. And obviously just narrowly beaten by Italy in the final. But there were some standout performances. Obviously Sean Keeling and Jack Murphy dovetailed well. Fionn Dobbin was kind of the star of the show on the first day. And then you had David Shield and Jack Hearn, the experienced guys, who really played well in the knockout stages. So look, second place, it's obviously, I'm sure they'll be disappointed, but for such a young team to go over there and acquit themselves so well was very encouraging.
Yeah.
And then
after that,
we had the Portuguese ladies amateur last week as well. And so Annabelle Wilson and Emma Fleming got top 10 finishes. Good to see Annabelle doing well again. She's been off the boil for the last couple of years, but recently she's just been starting to resurface again and looks to be, getting back in her stride.
Well, that's good to see. Any other mute points, lads?
Well, that's all I have. I've been ready for this since Monday.
Yeah, and I was in Rome all week, so I saw no golf. I followed very little golf. I'm hold my hands up.
Right, we get into heroes and villains then. I don't know, I don't know, is he a hero or a villain this week? But he's split a lot of opinions over the last 24 hours with his comments on stuff. But Rory McIlroy, kind of doing his full 180 now on these guys should be welcome, and if they have status, let them in. I think he's dead right. I'll always back Rory anyway, but I'm no, he was right back then in what he was saying, but things have evolved and things have changed so much. It's good to see that he has the balls to come out and actually not admit he was wrong, but just evolve with his opinions on things, and he's not afraid to come out and actually express them at a press conference like that. So he has been planting the seed for a number of weeks and going down. I know he kind of piss a lot of people off the way he's just so blunt with it, but he's certainly ruffled a few feathers.
It's mental how much criticism he's getting from various points for having a change of mind. The ability to change your mind is a positive thing.
Absolutely.
Anybody that flat out refuses to change their mind on anything is an idiot. Yeah. It's part of the reason why there's Donald Trump and Biden are running again for the U.S. presidency, and both it's going to be Trump and Biden, and neither of the political parties could possibly see anybody else as a worthy candidate. That's just flat out idiocy. If you just refuse to change your mind, no matter what sort of new evidence or no matter what sort of change is happening, in times afterwards. So, whether he's right or wrong is, that's a debate to have. But to criticize him for doing a 180 is, I think it's pretty foolish.
Yeah, no, so do I. No, I totally agree with that. he's big enough and bold enough to come out and actually put it on the line and say exactly what he thinks. And like, of all people, he's the one person that knows exactly what's going on behind the scenes from both sides, from all the tours and the negotiations and where things are going. So he's normally a good man to listen to for the old kite flying and seeing how things are going and what direction things are going to go in. So yeah, fair play to him for having the balls to come out and just address it head on like that.
And he knows that his word or his opinion carries enough weight that the fact that he is talking about, by trying to get the game back together again as soon as possible. I mean, I'm not going to say he's going to do it single-handedly, but he helps push things in a certain direction. And that's what we all want to see for the game, for the men's professional game. So him pushing in that direction can only be good for that.
Yeah, no, he's a major part of it, bringing everyone back together, right? So, heroes, Mark.
Right, my hero is Nick Dunlap for obviously listening to our pod last week and heard all the reasons I gave for him for why he should turn pro, and took my advice on board. Made the decision this week. Sent me a DM thanking me for the help and the
asking
advice.
you for the 10 million. He said that it would be in his bank account the day after. Where's the 10 million? I turned pro yesterday.
I
Right,
guarantee
Ronan.
you he has it.
My heroes are the French commentators for Mathieu Pavon's win. Did you listen to that?
No.
No.
Oh, it's so good. You should. It'll be on it's on Sky Sports, on the app, it's on the PGA Tour. So it's bloody brilliant. It's so good.
I couldn't believe actually that he was the first French winner on the PGA Tour. I honestly thought that Victor Dubuisson had won some events. Like, I remember the match play, couldn't remember him losing. I just assumed, my memory had him winning that match play, and I just couldn't believe that was the first French winner.
He won our hearts. He won our hearts that week. It could have been Gregory Havre in the US Open against Jumac.
Yeah, exactly.
It's gas, but he's not actually the first French man to win. Did you? some French guy won the Open Championship in 1909, and it's credited as a PGA Tour win, even though it happened like 60 years before the PGA Tour was ever a thing.
Oh, stop. Well, the way things are going, the next French winner, there mightn't be a PGA Tour, so yeah, the stats will all be out the window for that
true.
as well. Right, villains.
So, I mean, my villains, I kind of went off. I sounded off on them earlier on. I had them down for villains. I hadn't quite planned to go on a big rant about the LIV PR team, but yeah, it just kind of annoyed me this week as like how fucking incompetent they are. Like, so I had them down for my villains.
And Ronan?
Unless somebody else comes to me now in the next 30 seconds, I'll stick with them.
Stick with them, right, Ronan?
I don't really have any villains, but I suppose if anyone who annoyed me over the last week or so, and you both know it doesn't take too much, probably the American commentators for the Nelly Korda Lydia Ko playoff. It's talking absolute nonsense, lads. Just so bad. Again, as they always are, like, it's just talking absolute shite.
I thought you were going to stick Colin O'Rourke down as your villain for the week.
No, it's too early for that now. Look,
too early.
We're going up to the Athletic Grounds on Saturday night, and we're coming back with 2 points. You mark my words.
No, not going to happen. Tolchin Cup specialists, you are. Right, now, I think we'll draw a line under that for this week, lads. Lots of interesting golf to look forward to over the weekend, with the AT&T at Pebble Beach and LIV Golf Mayakoba kicking off, as well as we've Irish on the Challenge Tour and plenty of other golf going on. So cheers for you for tuning in. You can keep up to date with all the latest news on irishgolfer.ie, on the website or any of our social channels, and outside that, our own events have actually launched as well for this season, so you can check out the website for that. There's going to be 18 events in total for the year, so we've plenty of golf to look forward to on good courses, and some big announcements on additional courses being added into the fold over the next week or so, being added there as well. So cheers for tuning in, cheers lads for joining me, and we will chat to you again next week. Bye.